Okay, Deputy Superintendent Scott Jones. Next up is the hurricane, or however you want to say it.
The staff. So I think we're a little bit ahead of schedule, right? So let me just make sure.
If you're from Washington County, hurricane is correct.
Hurricane.
Why didn't this come to the minutes?
Miss Lorraine?
Because they didn't
Put
have,
me down for a yes.
they have to
And that last vote?
their timing.
They have to expire at the end of the year. That's what they claim. Maybe it's already expired, or maybe we're in some gray area.
I thought it's going to get explained to us. I think. Let's just take those breaks don't come very often. Let's just take a quick. Do you see them coming? Oh, here. Okay, here we are. Okay, we're good. Then turn the time over to Deputy Superintendent Scott Jones, and some of the questions, if you can, in your free up here, that why it's in our board meeting and not in a committee of the urgency to act. If you
Sure.
address that too. And
Right. Yeah. So typically we put these in a committee. Hurricane though did request based on the time frame or the timing of this particular action or process. We do it because they couldn't wait until the February board meeting for the board to make a motion, or on how Vaughn should vote on this too. Timing on these can be very important, as far as making sure the public is aware of the actions and the activities and the processes with that. So this should be the exception rather than the rule. We'll make sure we get the word out that, if you're undergoing the RDA process or on that too, that you should note that, it's part of a committee process and all that, but they respectfully made the request, and we could see on the timing frame of it too, your staff could, that this is probably important to have it, just this one exception on here to be in the main board agenda. So.
Is on, okay. I'm Vaughn Horton. I'm a specialist from the school finance section. This RDA request did begin back in November, but they did not understand well the directed vote process, and so we explained that to them, but they did not get us enough information to get it onto the December agenda, and that's why we're rushing at the end, and I'm sorry for that. This is an RDA that would expire this year. It's been in place for 25 years and has run most of its life. It's greatly improved the assessed valuation in the area. They've done both a golf course and an industrial park in the city of Hurricane. They did bring in the Lighthouse Foods facility in that industrial park. And what they're proposing to do here is to triple the size of that facility. Lighthouse has been a good partner for the city and the county. They have helped out in a lot of ways. They have recently upped all of their salaries and everything, so it's kind of an economic development thing also, because they're above the median wage for the area in which they're entering, and that's a national thing, not just the Utah piece. And so it's a fairly durable piece that they're doing, but what they have asked is to have the amount of the property tax that they would be paying for the first 5 years of the new assessed valuation come back to them to help with the payment of the increased size of the new facility. So rather than taking increment on the entire portion of the RDA, they're only taking increment on the new assessed valuation that the Lighthouse facility brings to it. Because it'll take some time to get that built, that will not come onto the property tax rolls until 2019, and so they need to extend the life of the RDA for a number of years beyond the 25 years to be able to capture those. The estimation is that they will recapture somewhere between $40,000 and $50,000 a year for 5 years, beginning after 2019. Run that for 5 years and then be done with it. So that's the proposal that they have. The city and the county and the school district are all very favorable towards this and feel like that this is an extremely good proposition.
Thank you. We have board member comments here, and I'll start with board member Hanson.
Since this is in Michelle's area, I'd like her to tell us how she feels about this. RDA. It's in Washington County, yeah.
While she's giving that some thought, we can certainly come back to that. Board member Hanson, as well, Michelle, board member Bolter to gather her thoughts on that. Let's go to board member Wright.
Vaughn, if the county, city, and school district vote in favor of it and we vote against it, it would still happen,
It would still pass, yes.
correct? And I mean, I understand the economic logic, you know, in RDAs for blight or environmental contamination. I just feel this is a little bit bait and switch, because this is why, you know, I hear that we do RDAs. It's because, oh, we get these jobs, they come here. Now it seems like, well, not only is it to come here, but every time we expand, we want further tax breaks. And I get it, no one likes paying taxes, but I just wish the people of Hurricane were here and I could look them in the eye and say, do you think public education is adequately funded in Washington County? And, you know, why should these people not pay taxes? I mean, it's just, I struggle. I represent, you know, my district and then the state of Utah, and I just struggle why this makes sense. I just think anyone who's really organized or calculating can play this game and not pay taxes, and it's really not fair. So that's my comments. I think you've all heard that from me a million times. I'm sorry to repeat myself. I'll be voting no, but it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Chair.
Board member.
Oh, sorry.
I don't see your, okay. Sorry about that. I'm looking through all the nice screens here, so thank you. Board member Lisa Cummins.
I would have to concur with Joel Wright, especially since they raised their salaries. Can you go over that again? How is that affecting the raise of salaries? Did they give it themselves this last fiscal year, and then and it's impacting the rise of this RDA?
No, the increased salaries are an economic factor to the area, because with the increase in size, they will bring in a large number of new employees that have not been working there before. And these new employees will be coming in at higher than median wage for the area.
Okay, one second. Board member Stokes.
I think you need to clarify that it's not the RDA has raised their salaries, but it's the wage
industry.
of the folks that work there. Their salaries have gone up.
Yeah, this isn't
the company that was brought in.
Yeah. Sorry if I wasn't clear on that. I'm sorry.
Okay, board member Lear. And board member Hanson, is your light on for a reason, or are you still good? Or okay, board member Lear.
I'm not an expert on RDAs. You have become an expert on RDAs. Do you think this is a good idea for it to be continued?
This one is one of the few that I would really agree that it is a real value to the area. Even though they would get away without paying taxes for the 5 years that they're planning on, they would pay property taxes on the increased assessed valuation for many years after that 5 years, even if the thing sat idle. They would be paying property taxes on that. So I think in the long run, this one has some real redeeming value, whereas the local strip mall and things like that, those are just garbage pieces. And I would agree with Board Member Wright that those have no place in our RDA process. But I have no, that's my opinion. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be expressing opinion, but This one is something that's a little different than the ordinary because they could be asking for a lot more. They're not. They're asking for a very minimal piece, would come out somewhere around $200,000 over 5 years. And that's fairly small, but does have a large increase in the future.
Now, can I just add a couple things? This company that's going to benefit from this, they're a national company, and the community of Hurricane has competed and wanted to try to have this stimulus come to them instead of some other building or some other facility in this. And I've been involved in RDAs and CDAs and that, and I agree with you. This is definitely has a stimulus, and there's also the residual effects of buying homes and the taxes and other things that are associated with the growth, the economic growth side of this, and the part where you talked about on their salaries and how they've increased salaries and that they're being very competitive in the area, and they'll still continue because they like that environment. So I'm actually speaking for this one also because there is a really good ROI, but I also understand where Board Member Wright is and the position that he takes. So I have a deal of respect for that. Board Member Hanson.
So what I look for on these to see how the local board, because they're usually on top of it a little bit, and it says that they'll be voting in favor. So unless Michelle has a reason, that's why I asked for her opinion in Washington County that I should vote the other way. I will be voting in favor, I think.
Okay. Board Member Bolter's lights on, so we'll acknowledge Board Member Bolter.
No, I'll be voting in favor of this. I think it will be really good for the city of Hurricane.
Okay. Any further comments or questions? So the appropriate request here is I'd be seeking a motion to either support or reject the RDA request. So that's what's before you. Board Member Reby.
I make a motion to support the RDA.
Second.
I have a motion, a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? We have 3 nays. Do you have them? Okay. Motion passes. Board, Scott?
Sorry, actually, we have to have the specific direction of the board on how Vaughn should vote, yes or no. That has to be in your record. It has to be that specific.
I would
vote with the district.
Well, the motion was to support the RDA, so you need a separate motion to say to.
Yeah, we need you to say vote yes or
Okay,
vote no.
so it's seeking a motion to vote.
I'd
Okay.
move that we authorize our representative on the RDA to vote with the district.
Okay, do we have a second? Plenty of seconds. Any further discussion? Seeing none, let's vote. All in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Well, the nays, again, do.
I think there's just one.
Okay, one. Okay. All right, that concludes.
Chair Huntsman, can I-
Yes.
So, Deputy Jones and Vaughn, real quick. Our time is limited and precious, and I'm worried about the precedent. Can we tell all the RDAs, you got to follow our time schedule, or we're just going to be an absent vote, which is no.
Understood.
I mean, this body has so many big time things we've got to be dealing with. This is a real courtesy to Hurricane, and we don't give this kind of deference to charter schools or other people when they want,
Understood.
emergency stuff.
Understood.
We do understand. We explained it was kind of a complication of the holidays of Thanksgiving and Christmas falling in the place in the city, falling out of contact with us when we really needed them to come through. So we appreciate your helping them out. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you,